Hello, and here we are again for the next Partner Insights with me, Michelle Hodges. I am the SVP of Global Channels and Alliances here at Avanti. I am joined today by Matt Ward, the ITAM Director and longstanding leader at Softcat. Matt, did you want to introduce yourself and your company a little bit?
Yeah, hi, everyone. So Softcat is UK's largest reseller. We've grown organically over the last 30 years, and we floated on the stock market in London in November 2015. And we currently have about 3,000 staff with about 10 offices around the UK.
Gosh, every time I visit you and learn more about your business, the breadth and impact that your company has made is truly stunning. And so with that said, thank you so much for taking time out of your week to spend with us and to talk a little bit about our partnership and how some key themes show up to help you all be successful. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem.
cool. So today we're going to be talking about 2 points: solution selling and the power of business planning, both joint business planning as a partnership, but also for your sellers. So I'll just dive right in. Um, one of your strengths is the power of your sales team, the nimbleness of your sales team. Can you talk to me a little bit about how much the concept of value plays within your sales team?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for us, we've got 800 sellers and they're all young. Average age is around about 25, 26 at Softcat. So they're forging their careers. Um, we drill it in at an early stage that, we're not there just as a product seller. We want to sell solutions. We want to understand the customer's challenges and we want to sell on outcomes. So it's really important for us to show value in that side of things. We want to be a trusted advisor, and that's very much what we try and be, rather than just that traditional box shifting reseller. We want to be seen as that solutions choice for them, and it works really well. We have lots of loyal customers who come to us at a very early stage about what they're thinking about doing from an IT perspective, and then and we're able to advise them on where we think they should be going, what the market is doing, and very much, yeah, as I said, don't want to be known as box shifters. Really, that's been a real strategic play for us.
And so in that, we're talking about value selling, the value of the relationship with the customer as well as the solution for the customer. Do you see a difference these days between, there's buzzwords, value selling, solution selling, outcomes. Do you see a difference, or is it all about the ultimate outcome for the customer?
I think it's about the ultimate outcome, but I think it's showing that you care about it and that it's not just a product sale and that you really want that outcome to be successful for them. Because actually, what I want is a long-standing customer. I want to win market share, and I want that customer for the next 20 years. You know, selling a product and not caring too much about either the outcome, the solution, or the value of it is very short-sighted.
Yeah. I think it's one of your true differentiators because of the volumes that Softcap operates to be able to instill that value from an outcome perspective, solution solving perspective with your customers is one of your true differentiators.
Yeah, yeah, and the guys are closely monitored. On all of that stuff. We send out a customer satisfaction survey every year to all of their
Yeah.
customers, and they really do have a voice.
Oh, fantastic. So a salesperson's role is hard, right? It's a hard job and they take
Mm.
on a lot of risk. Particularly some of your junior sellers, the leverage in between compensation and and um, and variable comp is quite different, right? So they have to sell to be successful. And there's a lot in a sales job, everything from entering into your CRM system to making sure they're enabled to participating in the contests and keeping up with all of those things. How important do you think is the concept of value selling and relationship vis-a-vis just the core skill sets of a salesperson, particularly for those early starters?
Yeah, I think we're a big team at Softcat, and those younger people, if they struggle, we encourage them to partner up with some of the more experienced guys. So what you might find is that actually a customer will get two account managers, as part of coming on board with Softcat. And we really drill into them, as I said, the value of working with the client rather than just trying to sell them something. Understanding their business challenges, the market they're in. We tend to find that some account managers, once they understand that vertical that they've had some success in, go on and specialize in that vertical. So some of the finance houses, some of the insurance companies, or whatever it might be, manufacturing is another one, or government. And they, the challenges across the board will be similar. So the value selling is building up their knowledge and making sure, there is no secret that the relationships that our guys have, even the younger guys with some of their clients, is second to none in the industry.
Fantastic. You've got an interesting business model over the last couple of years to really build on that value and solution selling approach. You've integrated a very consultative piece to that customer relationship by forging strong partnerships with professional services and consulting firms. Can you help me understand how you've blended that consultative piece in and how you leverage those relationships to serve your customers?
Yeah, so we have a big in-house consultancy team, but we also have a very big partner-led consultancy team as well. So we've always, ever since we started Softcat nearly 30 years ago, we've never tried to be something that we're not. So if there's somebody better in the market that we think is going to do a good job for the client, we will partner with them, to the point where we may say, actually, it's worth us doing it now ourselves, but only at the point when we think we can do a really good job as well. So, and we have that blended community, and it works really, really well. If we have a project with a client, and it may be a big piece of software, it may be a solution or a platform, or it may be something else. It's not unusual for us to have a mixture of our own team in there and somebody else's, but we will manage the whole thing.
Yeah. For my peers out there in the audience, people who do my role or who are partner and channel professionals, that partner to partner collaboration is close to nirvana for us, right? It's something that we try to facilitate, but to see it work so organically for joint success for you and your consulting partners is pretty cool to see. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah.
When we're talking about value and solution selling, to what degree do you believe that can be metriced, both for the customer or for the sales rep?
Oh, we measure all the time. Yeah. There's, as I said, I mentioned the customer sat surveys. We're completely open at Softcat. We take feedback, good or bad, to improve our services. We're not afraid of, having somebody say to us that we haven't done a good enough job, because we'll make it right. We're absolutely passionate about that, and I think for us it's having that open and honest approach. Whether it's a partner like yourselves or whether it's a customer, we are pretty easy to talk to. We're fairly open. We have a very open, our CEO sits on the same floor as one of our consulting guys, so we have an open plan office. And yeah, absolutely. We're just transparent, I think, is the word.
Fantastic. All right, we're going to shift now, talk about metricing into business planning. I think in my tenure here, I've been here a little over a year and a half. We've probably met 3 or 4 times. And the core part of our conversation is reviewing and refining our joint business plan. For you, as a business leader at a reseller, how important is having a business plan with your vendor?
Really important. I mean, I guess we want to make it successful for you and for us, right? And we can only do that. And our best partners, we're in constant contact with them. We're talking about metrics. We're talking about pipe. We're talking about all sorts of things, So, again, going back to that transparency, it's a partnership. It's not a them and us. It's not you're supplying us with something. It really is a partnership. And your guys, I was with them this week, right? And we had a big meeting and we talked about what was going on and how things were going, and we're constantly improving it. So it's really good for us.
Yeah, for me, having a continual conversation around the business plan gives me a very tangible feeling for how we're doing and where we need to focus or pull back or where we've missed the mark. So it's an important part of my business as well. Within
Yeah.
a bit, oh, sorry, sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead, Matt.
No, we were just going to say, if you look at it, you've got Mark, you've got Nigel, you've got,
Mm,
all the guys there. We've got more than just a business relationship, right? If I need to pick up the phone and talk to Nigel about something, or vice versa, he can do the same to me. It's really important to have those strong relationships.
absolutely. So within the business plan, and then maybe that last comment can tease something out here. What's some of the most important elements within a joint business plan?
I think it's agreeing the metrics that are successful for both of us. We've got to understand what you want out of it as well as what we need to be out of it, and we need to meet somewhere in the middle on that. Things have got to be realistic, and they've got to be achievable from a point of view of results. So we are, as I said, we're constantly looking at the metrics. Um, we're constantly looking at things, how to incentivize sales guys. Uh, we're constantly thinking about what do they need to go to their customers. So I'm always putting myself in their shoes and saying, well, actually, if I'm going to go and have a conversation about Avanti, what is it I need? Do I need data sheets? Do I need good marketing? Do I need a subject that I need to talk about? What is it I need to spark that interest within the client base?
Yeah. So in the names you mentioned earlier, there was a country manager, there was a partner leader, a regional partner leader, a partner manager, marketing. All of those different folks need to contribute to help make our joint business successful. And for me, sitting down, periodically agreeing across those metrics with those folks allows us all just to move faster and in sync. So
Absolutely, and you know what? I think it's just not reliant on one person either. If I look at Gary, who's our PAM,
yeah,
he knows everybody in Softcat now because I've spent time introducing him to
yeah,
people so that if I'm not there, I'm not a blocker. He can just go and have those conversations directly,
yeah.
which I think is really important.
One place that you've been so helpful in that business plan is we've got kind of a contact mapping, right, to understand who's who in the zoo, but also who do we need to go and build relationships with and educate. And it's just a great tool to keep us all on track. So thanks for your investment of time in that.
No, you're welcome. And as I said, it pays dividends for us as well, remember.
So I could sit and talk about this all day long, but we are on a little bit of a time limit. So I'll ask you one final question, if that's okay. From this conversation today, and from what you know about our relationship and partnership, what is one thing you'd like to leave with the audience before we wrap up?
Gosh, I think for me, a good partnership is about ease of doing business both ways. And I think for me, that's where Avanti really sit. It's easy to do business with you guys. You've got a great set of products and a portfolio that is relevant to our customer base. But not only that, you get the channel, you get the value that the reseller can bring. Um, and as I said, it's ease of doing business. We have nearly 1,700 vendors on the books. And to keep all of those going, we need them to be easy to do business with.
Yeah.
And Avanti are definitely one of those.
I think one thing I've learned through my many years in the industry is ease of doing business. I want to think that all of our transactions are turnkey and everything works perfectly and seamlessly. But what I have learned is it's also about being transparent and working together to grease those systems, right? And
Yeah,
to allow you the ability to provide feedback to help us be better.
yeah. Someone said to me once about golf, it's not how good your good shots are, it's how good your bad shots are. And I think that really, from an IT reseller
Yeah.
perspective, is those partners that we do business with. Yeah, we're never going to get it right all the time, but it's how do we fix those problems? And if you've got that great relationship and those communications across all of those people that we've mentioned, then it's easy to fix them.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm going to remember that one. Thank you for that. I'm going to use it at tennis too. So
Good,
great.
good.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for spending some time with me on this. It's my Friday morning, your Friday afternoon.
It is, yeah.
And thank you so much for your partnership and also friendship to the whole team. You're really a wonderful part of our broader team. So thank you for that, Matt.
It's nice to hear that, and thank you very much, and the same to you guys, really.